Hey you guys, my name is Deanna Klejne. I am founder of West Coast Lifestyle Group, and I would like to speak to you guys about buying real estate. I love covering this in my buyer consultations, and this is one of my favorite parts, and feel that this is something that really makes buyers understand the process better, from buying to actually getting the keys for your home. So I'm going to go through it the way I draw it out for my clients.
So with our beautiful West Coast Lifestyle pens, there you go. If you want one, let me know.
So before we go looking at properties, it is crucial to get you pre-approved. Now we're going to get you pre-approved with a mortgage specialist, mortgage broker, and any bank that you choose to, or I can send you a couple of my favorites and referrals that I have of amazing mortgage professionals. So once we know how much money we have to go shopping with, and also what's important to you in terms of your search criteria, like for example, how many bedrooms, the location you require, if you need a parking spot, if you have pets, if you want this property as a rental, or if you want to live in the property, we will do an analysis of what's important to you, and then we can start looking at properties. So we would narrow them down, and then we would go out and look at properties. And so here we go. Here's my little diagram. So we'll view homes. So we're going to go take a look, and there's a couple of ways to view. You can absolutely stop in at open houses, and then you can also give me a call, send me a list of properties that you've narrowed down, and I can make appointments for us. So once you've viewed some properties and you fell in love with a property, from what it looks, how it feels, that it's in the right location, it has the certain things that you require in a property, we would put an offer in. Now, the offer has three major components. So it is the price, of course, and we would negotiate that. The dates, so these are the dates that you want to move into the property, and completion dates. So if you're renting, you might need 2 or 3 months for these dates, and the seller requires some time to move out as well. And conditions and subjects. So conditions could be that it's currently tenanted and the tenant requires to leave the property because you want to take possession of the property as a buyer. And subjects will be subject to financing, inspection, and reviewing documents. Docs, there we go. And usually approximately about 7 days is what we like to do, because this is enough time for the most part to get all of these completed and know that you want to buy the property, doing our due diligence. So then once we go back and forth on price, and the buyer and seller are good with the price, the buyer and seller are good with the dates, and then the conditions, and everybody's okay with that, and this is not outside the norm, so it should be fine for the seller, then our offer becomes an accepted offer. Okay, so I love getting to this point as quickly as possible because the seller isn't able to bump your offer for another offer in this situation. They can take a backup offer, but they're not able to bump your offer. So you are, as the buyer, in the driver's seat at this point. So during this time, you have these 7 days here to remove your subjects. So we will send your contract to a mortgage broker, make sure they do the appraisal and see if financing will work out, because yes, you've been pre-approved, but the mortgage broker needs to finance you based on this property as well. So, and then we'll do an inspection. I have a list of amazing inspectors, so you can choose who you'd like to use, and they will inspect the common areas, the property itself, make sure that everything's in working order, and also knowing the risks that you're going to be taking. If it's an older building, is there things that need to be updated? Is there certain things that are going to be maybe levied in the next little while? And documents. So if it's a strata, we would receive 2 years of documents, minutes, AGM, SGM, bylaws, financials, etc. So we would get all of these and review them together, making sure that you're satisfied with everything. So during our 7-day period, we have a lot of work ahead of us, but we'll do it together. So after 7 days, so let's say right here, you get to choose your own adventure. So at this point, you choose if you want to purchase the property, that's removing the subjects, or if you want to go back to viewing, which means that something happened here that didn't work out, either the financing, the inspection, or maybe the documents. The documents maybe were just, you didn't want to get into that building, or the inspection was so bad that we just wanted to run. Then we would start looking again for another property. So in this case, if everything does work out and financing is great, inspection is fine, you at least know what you're getting into, you review the documents and you're comfortable with everything, then we remove the subjects. Okay, so then at this time, removal of subjects, you put your 5, and this doesn't have to be 5%, but usually 5% deposit. So this solidifies the deal. So at this moment, you're buying the home. So you're not moving into the property at this moment because it's about 7 days really from accepted offer to subject removal. But at this time, you are technically committing to purchasing the property. So now all we have to do is wait. So these dates here could be 2, 3, 4 months, depending what we set out in the initial offer. So now we wait for that here. For completion and for possession. So the completion is when the lawyer or notary will do the completion for your property. That means it's going to go into your name and you're technically going to start paying for this home. And possession is when you get the key. So that's when you get your new place and you can move in. And there's a lot of things to consider during this period. For example, and we have checklists for everything to make sure that you're on track. If it's a strata, there's going to be reserving the elevators and so forth on possession day so everything goes smoothly. And we want to make sure that this process is as smooth as possible. Now, this is really the simple version of everything that goes on behind the scenes and so forth. But we want to make sure that you at least have a general idea of how it goes. So basically, viewing properties, accepted offers when you're actually really serious about this home and the buyer and seller agree to price, dates, and conditions, and then you're buying the property at subject removal. So from here to here, it could be a little bit of time. I hope you found this really valuable. I know I love going through this process with my buyers, and it really gets them to understand in a very simple way the process of purchasing real estate. So if you guys like this video, I hope you give me a thumbs up, share it, subscribe, and also comment below. Thanks so much. See you guys soon.